Today's making sense question. I have a company credit card. Should I use an expense management system? First off, an expense management system, some of the ones that exist in the world, Expensify, Divvy, TeamPay, Tally, etc. There's a lot more that exists in the world than there did 5 years ago. The one that actually we use the most is Expensify, but Divvy was originally purchased by Bill.com, so they're building out that platform as well. So if you have a company credit card, should you use another system? So like what I always kind of recommend to our clients is keep it as simple as possible, right? If you have a company credit card or two, and the only person that really uses it is the CEO or the COO or whoever, and so there's kind of control already in terms of what, who is actually authorizing purchases and using that card, I'd recommend not adding another system that literally then you have to use to code transactions, collect receipts, etc. And I recommend just kind of managing the facilitation and the tagging or accounting for those items just directly in your accounting system, like QuickBooks Online. If you then have a credit card though, and you have 10 employees, so like Accountfully, we have our managers have credit cards. So we have a company card and then 10 sub cards, right? Or 10 employee cards. Well, they're all required to basically, we use Expensify and then they can upload all receipts in there, tag them. And then I have kind of visibility of review and approving them for basically validity and ensuring that, we're abiding by the guidelines and the policies that have been set up. And then additionally, then those transactions flow down to QuickBooks and hit our accounting system. So if you have multiple people and you want to have visibility and review and approval over their work, over their kind of spending, then you should use an expense management system like that to have that. If you just have a couple per people and the main kind of founders have that access and it's easier to kind of pull a statement and review it kind of manually monthly or whatever, I'd recommend that. Again, much more simplicity works best. The thing is, you don't want to leverage or use an expense management system and then all of a sudden nobody uses it, or 80% of your team uses it, but the 20% doesn't. So literally the financials are never updated. We always have to go back and forth on coding your transactions, tagging receipts, documenting what you did in those aspects, which then creates a huge backflow on just pure reporting, month-end financials, etc. So it really depends at the end of the day. It just depends upon like how complex you want to get, the number of credit cards and employee cards you have. And at that point, then you can make a decision on whether or not it's time to implement it. If you do implement it, please ensure that you have sufficient policies and procedures in place that literally requires your team to upload it and tag it and to submit reports weekly or every other week and stay on that. Because that's the problem, is it can just get backloaded if literally you're not on the, if you're not keeping up on the reporting of those expenses. So hope you learned a few things today. Thanks for listening to Making Sense.